Hey YouTube, one of the most common questions I get asked in my videos is why aren't you buying any gold? And the answer that I always give is I feel like silver is a better relative value. Okay, we're going to kind of get into that. If a question gets asked on my videos enough, it certainly warrants a video response, and that way we can kind of contain the questions to that video, and it'll spur discussion, and honestly, I'll learn something from you guys too. This is a thought exercise. This is not me telling you how to do anything. This is just me throwing something out there. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, this video could be about the mining ratios. Right, when they first started finding gold and silver, they were finding 16 times the amount of silver in the ground to gold. Well, now the mining ratio is 9 to 1. Okay, math equals silver there. We could talk about the net short position in silver being 27 times greater than gold. Well, you've seen what a short squeeze can do if you've followed Netflix in the last week or so. You've also seen on the other side of that what happens when a stock is over-owned, like Apple, and all of the hedge funds scramble to get out at once. We could talk about the U.S. Mint selling 54 times the amount of silver to gold, meaning that in dollar terms, they're actually close with the GSR right now being at 53.5. We could talk about how silver is more accessible to the average person. We talked about it before. Who doesn't have $2.25 for a mercury dime? So that when the move into precious metals begins in earnest, people will be flooding into silver first. We could talk about how silver is used up in minute quantities. Gold is stored. All this stuff has been covered a million times. So you know what? We're not going to talk about any of that stuff, although we could. We're just going to look at it really simply here. This is a 36-year chart of the gold to silver ratio. Okay, the current gold to silver ratio is 53.5, meaning 53.5 ounces of silver gets you 1 ounce of gold. The high was 100 to 1. The low was 16 to 1. Now understand that the high occurred when there was plenty of stockpiles of silver and gold was still moving. That has changed. Okay, you could really look at this time frame right here if you really want to. But the midpoint of that range is 58. Okay, so that's what we're going to work with here. So I developed a little chart that I'm going to follow on when to buy gold and when to buy silver. This is, again, something I came up with for myself. You guys can dismiss it, you can follow it, or you can come up with something of your own, but it's just a way to kind of start thinking about when to buy each. Okay, so every $10,000 invested, so you can break that out any way that you want. You can multiply it by 10, or you can divide it by 10, or any increment in therein. But as long as the gold to silver ratio is above 45, I feel like silver is a screaming buy. I'm buying all silver. The gold to silver ratio is between 40 and 45. I'll be at 80% silver, 20% gold. So see what I'm doing here? As the price of silver rises, or as the price of both come down, and silver becomes cheaper relative to gold, I will start buying more gold. If the gold to silver ratio breaks that 40 barrier, which it seems to be a sticking point, right? Just going back to this chart real quick, it hits 40 and it really can't get below that. Sorry if I gave you guys vertigo there. Let's see, GSR 35 to 40, I'll be at 60% silver, 40% gold. If the GSR is between 30 and 35, I'll be splitting my investment 50-50. If the GSR starts getting right down there, 25-30, I will actually be buying more gold than silver. If the GSR gets all the way down to 20 to 25, then I will be going just about all in on gold. And anything below 20, and I know people have said, they can see par in the future. I don't. I think that's kind of ridiculous. But who knows? Who knows what could happen? I would be buying all gold. So this is kind of the chart I'm going to work with. When to buy silver, when to buy gold. Anything can change. Right? A lot of events in the world could change. I mean, who knows? If silver became part of the cure for cancer, then I guess I'd be buying all silver. Whatever. That's a joke, guys. Don't get too worked about that. So here's the other part. If silver ever explodes up in value, I'm going to use $200 as a price. Now, I understand that there'll be some stock guys that get on here and laugh about that. Never happened, yada, yada, yada. Fine. Look at fractional gold in the premium that gets now. If silver ever got to $200 an ounce, do you realize that a Franklin half would be $71.50? Think about that. All the bullion that we buy now, I mean, $71 buys you the most premium of kookaburras, right? The most premium bullion is pretty much that. You'd now be paying that for $50. silver would begin to get really expensive for the average person. So they'd be looking at fractional silver. What better fractional silver out there than a mercury dime? So a mercury dime would be selling for $14.30 with a silver price of $200. I could see that being $16, $17. So not only would you get the rapid appreciation of silver, you would also be getting a bump for the premium for basically being the only kind of silver that people can really afford. That's one of the reasons that I am stocking up on mercury dimes this year. Also with gold, one of the analogies I was kind of kicking around in my head, if you didn't have any clothes and you're trying to build your wardrobe, I think buying an ounce of gold right now would be like me buying a tuxedo first. I'd have that one tuxedo hanging in my closet and really nothing else. It wouldn't really make sense to me. It makes sense to build up a precious metals foundation by buying silver first. Once I get to a comfortable level, and right now not my yearly goal, but my goal in the next 14 months or so would be to hit 1,000 ounces. Once I get there, I'll probably have a little bit of a different perspective. But until that time, I am just stacking silver hard. I just feel like, for all the reasons I outlined, I feel like it's a much better value than gold, and so that's where my money's going now. So I'm interested in your thoughts, guys. One last point. Sorry about that. When I do start buying gold, I will be buying 1 ounce bullion. I don't know enough about the gold NUMMI market to really speculate there. And it doesn't make sense to me to try to build up a gold stack and buy fractionals, which would be a huge premium, right? I mean, if you try to get an ounce of gold buying it 1/10 of an ounce at a time, it's going to cost you $2,000. So I would be buying 1 ounce bullion and trying to build up a respectable gold stack like that. And then once I was happy, maybe at 15 ounces or so, maybe then I could start playing around a little bit. But my intention would be to stack gold hard and try to actually get some ounces. Much in the same way we talk about silver, right? If you were trying to build your silver stack and you're only buying Lunar Series coins, especially Lunar Series 1, you wouldn't get very far. You'd have a nice stack of really beautiful bullion, but it wouldn't be many ounces. You have to mix in some of the lower premium stuff. You've got to buy some 90% silver. You've got to buy some bars. And I know when you guys look at my stack, you'll kind of laugh at that. It's a little bit hypocritical because I don't really have any bars yet. But I do have some 90% silver. I will be adding that this year. So that's just kind of the way I'm looking at it. So give me your thoughts. So this is the plan. This is the ratio I'm looking at. Thanks, guys. And by the way, you guys have been sending me some emails with your monthly totals. That's fantastic. I appreciate it. I'm filling out the spreadsheet Friday. That'll be getting done. And I can't wait to see how much silver we've pulled off the market. You guys, I'll do some special stuff. So I'll talk to you then. Bye.